Last Sunday, we heard a parable where 10 virgins were invited to a wedding feast. 5 of them were prudent, the other 5 were foolish. The prudent ones understood that the wait could be long, and they brought with them oil just in case the groom would be taking a long while before coming back. The other 5 were foolish and did not take any oil with them. This Sunday, we have just heard a new parable. We haven't found 10 virgins, but we found a master and 3 servants. How could we summarize the teaching of today's parable? In the phrase that Jesus himself offered us at the end of the parable: to those who have, more will be given. To those who have little, even what little they have, that will be taken away. So in today's homily, I want to talk about how we are in danger of losing what little we have. And I think that if we take the time to analyze this parable, we'll be much more capable of retaining and multiplying what we have received instead of losing what little you may have. And to analyze this parable, we will see that there are 3 reasons why the servant lost what he had received. Because he was fearful, because he was slothful, and because he was wicked. So let's think about how when we are fearful, we can lose things. The day that we were baptized, every single Catholic received a triple ministry: to be priest, to be king, and to be prophet. You all received, and me too, the day we were baptized, we received something. The gift of being prophets. And I think that many times we lose this gift of being prophets because of fear. And I want to give you an example. I remember a couple of months ago, I went to a ball game for the first time in my life. And I went with a group of young adults from the parish, and one of them was a Baptist, a friend of one of the guys from the parish. And while the game was going on, we were talking about religion, and I was asking about the Baptist and why wouldn't he become a Catholic? And there were people around, and suddenly a lady turned around and said, "Could you please not talk about religion in the ball game?" And why am I sharing with you this example? Because I think that in this country, but not only in this country, we may be fearful of talking about our faith because it's politically incorrect, because it's not nice to talk about religion. But I think that because of fear, we are in risk of losing our prophetic dignity. And I want to share a different example with you of those who are courageous in living this dignity. I guess that many among you are big fans, at least I am a big fan, of Jordan Peterson. And this week there was a video, a testimony of his wife who is turning Catholic. How did she turn Catholic? When she was in the hospital, sick with cancer, a friend of hers came with a gift, a rosary, an image of a saint, and an image of the Virgin Mary. Think about it. This friend of hers, did she have multiple reasons to be afraid? Sure. She was bringing a rosary to a non-Catholic and was willing to teach the rosary to a non-Catholic. Did she let fear stop her? No, what happened? Her gift multiplies. And now she's bringing to the faith a non-Catholic. So my first point is, I think we're in danger of receiving something we are in possession, our prophetic dignity. Why are we in danger of losing it? Because we are fearful, just like the servant in the gospel who put away the talent because he was fearful. And in putting away the talent, he lost the talent. Second point, we may lose what we have because we're slothful. And I want to share with you a beautiful story. Satan was worried because there weren't a lot of people coming into hell. The amount of people going to hell had decreased. So Satan got together 3 of his minions and said, "You're going out to earth to bring me as much men as possible." After a while, the 3 devils or the 3 minions came back. The first one was a small crowd. And Satan asked, "What did you do to recruit this new condemned?" And he said, "I tempted them with richness and with richness. But in today's economy of the States, there was not a lot of chances for me to gather a lot of people." The second minion came with a small crowd, and Satan asked him, "What strategy did you use to recruit this small crowd?" And he said, "I tempted these people with pleasure. But nowadays people are so depressed and so lonely that not even this temptation worked." And then the third minion came with a huge crowd. And Satan was very happy, and he said, "How did you get such a large crowd?" And the minion said, "I talked to all of these people about doing mercy works, about visiting the Blessed Sacrament, about praying the rosary during the month or during the week. But I convinced them that the right day to start was tomorrow and not today." This story is great because in so many occasions we lose our faith because we are slothful and we leave things for tomorrow. I'll ask you a question. How many of you guys have ever thought about, "I'm going to sign up to take an adoration hour. I'm going to start praying my rosary during the week. I'm going to start doing spiritual reading." But then you say, "But I'll start tomorrow. But I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow's a better day." Think about it. We lose what little we have when we're slothful. Third point, he's also called a wicked servant. The servant in the gospel, he's called wicked and slothful servant. Why wicked? You know why wicked? Because he's ungrateful. Think about it. The other servants, one received 5. The other received 2. He only received 1. And how many times, brothers and sisters, we complain about not receiving the same as other people? Sometimes we say, "I'm not as smart, I'm not as tall, I'm not as beautiful, I'm not as gifted, I don't have the same spiritual formation." And then your excuse is, "I haven't received as much." And I want to give you an example from my own life. Sometimes I say to myself, "I'm not the pastor. Father David is a pastor, so it's not my responsibility. It's up to him. It's up to him to take the initiatives." Sometimes I say to myself, "Oh, I'm not the superior of the PS community here. It's Father Humberto, so I haven't received as much as Father David. I haven't received as much as Father Humberto because I'm not either the pastor or I'm not either the superior." And I find myself with that temptation. And that's the same temptation as the wicked servant. You only got 1. So when we start being wicked and ungrateful, you know what we do? We lose what we have received. 1 talent meant 25 kilograms of silver coins. He had so much, but because he was comparing with the others, he made nothing of it. So let me finish this homily with a question for you. What little you have received, are you losing it because you're fearful? Are you wasting talents that you have received out of fear? Are you wasting talents because you're lazy? Is there something that you're digging underground because you're too lazy to work with? Or is it maybe that you're just ungrateful and wicked, like the servant in the gospel? Brothers and sisters, the more we work our talents and we will have received, the more our talents flourish.